Hey, honey.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, everybody. I'm Fen. This is Retro Reviews, a review show where we go through my copious amounts of role-playing books and other role-playing paraphernalia one at a time. And to keep me from rambling, we have Laura.
Hey everybody. So to keep us on track tonight, I'm gonna ask a list of questions.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so what are we reviewing tonight?
Dungeon Magazine number 117.
Okay, and where did this magazine come from?
Want to take a guess?
B. Dalton's and Presque Isle?
The Dalton Bookseller in Presque Isle.
Okay, do you want to give us a quick synopsis of the adventures inside?
All right, first up is Fallen Angel. It's for levels 1 through 5. It's an urban adventure mixed with a dungeon crawl. So you got a little bit of going throughout the city and then diving down into the sewers. It's set in the Eberron campaign setting, which was, they had a call out in 3rd edition for the Great Designer Challenge for somebody to basically be able to pitch their D&D world to become an official D&D world. I didn't make it past the submission steps, the initial ones. But Eberron was really cool. It's a setting where they actually have Warforged. They're mechanical, living in mechanical people. I always thought that was really cool about that setting. So then the adventure, an aristocrat hires the heroes to find and recover a broken statue in the slums of the city. There's a new NPC template, the Mimolith. It's a child born with a strong mental link to a place where hundreds of people died all at once. The child can tap into their psychic imprint on the area and gives them like bard-based powers of like they know the history and legends and stuff like that of this traumatic event that they're like born on that location of.
Interesting.
Yeah, really cool. Like the guy who designed that setting came up with some really like it was a war torn world that rebuilt itself after it. So it was like really cool. Next one is Istrin City of Shadows. It's another part of the big campaign that was being published throughout the dungeon magazines. Last we saw, they were finding out the secret of who the big bads were in the city. This gives you a write-up of the city, places, and NPCs. Yeah, you get started in cities. Oh no, this is a new one. This is okay. No, that's a new city-based campaign. This one actually starts up. It gets wrapped up in 2 more issues. It's just a short 3 adventure campaign. They had 1 in each issue, but it's something you could easily port into any other campaign setting. A good little write up of NPCs and places, kind of like that book we saw when we were at Plus One Gaming that you were looking at. Like it was just a book that was written up about like the locations and people in the city. Stuff. I was thinking about picking that up because you're like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I think I remember that.
It's originally for Istrin is originally for Greyhawk setting, but you can easily just file off the Greyhawk serial numbers and use it in your own campaign. Next one is Touch of the Abyss. It's for levels 6 to 12. It's an urban dungeon crawl. They were really starting to stress away from, at this point in Dungeons print run, of straight up, we're just going into the dungeon and having fun. But no, we gotta do a little urban adventure mixed with a dungeon crawl. So the party arrives in town and get to explore, meet people, hear gossip. One night, Madman gets into a fight with the city guard using magic. Party saves the day, get hired to look into matters by searching the keep's dungeons, only uncover greater threats. Good example of creating a just arrived in town adventure, just something like because it's showing like the whole thing. Like, yeah, you arrive in town, this is happening.
Because all great stories start with person comes to town or person leaves town.
Yeah. The Winding Way is the next adventure. It's a high level, 13th to 20th level dungeon crawl. Local kung fu monastery is overrun by the undead. The undead creations of a mad mage. Mad mage from ages ago that were locked away in the hidden tombs. In the far corners of the world, the monastery was built on top of one. Okay, so yeah, crazy wizard created all these abomination monsters, locked them up, and then like some kung fu monks find this site and go, oh, this remote area, great for building new temple. And then they like explore it around, unlock the ancient evil, and the adventurers need to come and take care of it.
Yeah.
Next one up in here is Dungeon Craft. Table rules. Okay, so Monty Cook, who's also publishing a lot of stuff for Wizard at the time. This is the basis of a Session Zero checklist kind of thing of like sitting down and coming up with a code of conduct or rules for how your game should be played and what players are like comfortable with and not comfortable with at the table. So this was really the start of that era of, all right, let's do a check-in, make sure I'm not running a campaign that's going to like trigger some emotional trauma for my players. So
Yeah,
that was
important.
that was the start of that one. Then 5-second NPCs. It's a list of 40 NPCs. This is a little like the maps of mysteries. Just a quick little exercise for DMs being able to come up with stuff. So they give us a list of 40 NPCs with no game stats. Just a short paragraph of 2 to 3 sentences to get the character idea. Then the next article in the magazine was Graveyard Encounters. It's 100 random encounters for people to have when they're in a graveyard. Some of the interesting ones that I pointed out was a pair of lovers running away after being discovered, broken lock, and a mausoleum door that's wide open.
That's creepy.
Someone has built a bonfire at the gate. One spirit is tormenting the rest in the graveyard. And a spectral choir sings for an hour starting at midnight.
Also creepy.
I know. That's like they had, because they were doing those a lot, like these 100 random encounters. A lot of the books they were doing, they were specifying on different types of locations and adventure supplement books had these kind of tables all throughout them. So it's kind of cool that they're starting to put more of those into the magazine.
Yeah, cool.
Next one is a brief respite. Because there was a lot. This had a huge section on tips for DMs. Brief respite, an article on placing safe rooms and sanctuary places a party can take a rest in within a dungeon. Also talked about like healing fountains and hidden doors. Healing fountains, I found that to be really cool because it's a throwback to some really early, the black book for original Dungeons and Dragons I had. Like that had healing fountains as like one of the random room encounters where it's like, it's this fountain, you go and drink from it, and it works like a healing potion. They also had those in the Talisman board game. It was like a cool, like, very much video. It felt really a lot like a video game to be like, here's a healing potion, here's a fountain of healing potion right here. But Bridging the Gap, an article on bridges. Just different types of bridges. One of the ones they had in there was the sunken bridge that's like built below the water so you can seem to walk across the lake, but you're not actually walking across the lake. You're just on this like submerged bridge.
That's cool.
Yeah. Will Save, first level sucks. This was actually a guest written by Will Wheaton about how being a first level character sucks and everyone is just nearly dead because everyone is nearly dead already. Which is especially for like, you get one hit dice at first level, so if you roll a 1, You don't have a Constitution score that gives you any modifiers, so that you have 1 hit point. Any damage is going to knock you out and to 0, and if you take 2 damage, you're knocked out and dying. So it's just like,
yeah, that's rough.
yeah, it's why a lot of times I've played games where it's like, okay, we're gonna start at level 2, or we're gonna start at level 3, or we're gonna start at level 4. We're gonna start with some levels under our belt so our hit dice don't really suck that much.
Makes sense.
Which has always been a stuff that I like to do is like, oh yeah, we're gonna start at level 2, we're gonna start at level 3.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So what are you gonna keep from this magazine?
I really want to keep the graveyard encounters. Those I thought looked really cool. The finding the way, the monastery that's got like the basements all full of monsters. I think that's a really cool adventure to run. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's all my questions.
And that is all my issues of Dungeon Magazine. I guess there's nothing left to do but now do Dragon Magazine.
Wow.
So, join us next week for Dungeon Magazine, where we're actually going to look at one of the...
Dragon.
For Dragon Magazine, and we're actually going to be looking at Best of Dragon Volume... I know I either did Volume 1 or Volume 2 way back on the channel. So we're doing one of the Best of Dragon magazines next week. And I believe it's the one that's got the really cool... I've been making notes for it. There's a lot of stuff in that one. So it's going to be a long issue, and you're going to have to keep me on topic.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week for a Dragon magazine, and it'll be good.
Peace.
Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.